Hello again. So today I want to show you the results or how we're getting on with the slug control that I put down, and also to say that I was a little bit wrong in some of the previous things that I've told you. So let's have a look first at the wires that we put in. So remember, I filled this little section with quartz and I put some weight on it. It turns out that as long as you've got enough weight, that's fine, because I've stood on there and it's not changed the voltage. I'm getting 0.3 of a volt out of this, which is quite reasonable. And the wires are running all the way around the outside, and like we discussed in the previous video, that's for slug control. Now, as you can see from looking across the brassicas there, it's not perfect. There is still a slug issue here. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but it's a lot better than last year. Last year we used 12 beer traps, which we're putting beer in these little glass bowls here. We used 12 of those last year, and we ended up with less than 25% survival rate of the plants that we put in. This year, we've only got 4 beer traps, one in each corner, and the wire that we put in the last video. And other than this little fella here, we've got 100% survival rate. Even that one's come back. If you remember in the last video, that was decimated, and that one's come back. So you can see that it's a lot better. Now, we weren't expecting to eradicate the slugs. There is only one way to get rid of all the slugs, and that's to get some ducks. So you don't have a slug problem. What you have is a deficiency of ducks. So by getting ducks, we're going to sort that out. But we can't have ducks here, we just haven't got the room. So at the next place, when we finally move, we are looking to get ducks, because they will solve the slug problem. But this wire has made an enormous difference, as you can see. So we're very pleased with that. But the reason I built this little tower, and I say it's only 1.5 inches tall when I say little tower, the reason I built that was because I thought I was under the impression that the large trees that we looked at in the last video that are right behind me here were going to affect the antennas, and they don't. I was completely wrong. The trees don't affect them at all. I think if you got right up close to the trunk, it might do. But the trees at this distance, we're probably a good 8 foot away from the trunk, they don't affect anything at all. So I've put this antenna in here. Now remember, last video or two, we talked about the different shapes at the top. And it turns out that the double cone shape, so you've got a cone coming up to there and coming back down to 0. So there you've got 2 cones, one on top of the other. That is in fact the best shape. And we ran through all the different shapes in the last video, and we put some numbers together. And then a little bit of garden quartz in there that's just dug up from the floor. So I find quartz all over my garden. And this gives us 0.4 of a volt, which is absolutely fabulous. And so I've added that in. Oh my word, the floor's a long way away. So I've added that in because, as I say, I led you slightly astray last video, and the trees and other plants don't affect it. So there we go. There's an update on how we're doing with the slugs and how well they've got on. And I think that overall, I think we've had some success there in that we've got nearly 100% survival rate for our plants. So it was very, very effective, but not as good as ducks, is the conclusion. Thank you very much. See you again soon.